So, I am having surgery in 2 weeks. Um, Today's the 11th of February, and I'm having surgery on the 29th of February, so it's getting closer. Um, I've been trying really well, I had been trying really hard to work out my upper body, but I'm just not into it. I love running. I enjoy cardio, but I just can't enjoy lifting weights. I just find it so boring. So, in all honesty, I haven't really made a significant impact on my pectoral muscles or upper body strength in the last few months. Um, so yeah, it's starting to feel very real, and I don't feel nervous. I don't feel I don't feel excited either. I just feel like this is something that I'm doing. But what I am really looking forward to is I just have this image in my mind of I'm going to Italy soon. Well, in the at the beginning of June, and I just it's going to be warm, and I'm gonna just be able to put a t-shirt on and go hiking and stuff, and that is what I'm you know most looking forward to. That's what I'm doing it for. That freedom to not feel uncomfortable. To be honest, I don't really use a binder anymore. I'm lucky that I don't have issues passing without one. There's still something there, but I kind of just wear really baggy stuff, and I have my sort of ways of, um, you know, dealing without one. I've got one, I just don't use it because I actually find it more uncomfortable, emotionally, physically, mentally uncomfortable. Like it's just like a constant like uncomfortable reminder that I need to you know go to these lengths to feel comfortable. So actually, it makes me more uncomfortable. I guess with a lot of people, it's that, oh god, I don't have to wear it every day, but I don't really have that. But what I am keen to sort of say goodbye to is hunching over constantly, when I'm not wearing one, just constantly worried that someone's going to be looking at me, or um, I mean, I go running, and some people probably, there is something there and people can see it. And do you know what? I don't really care what other people think, but I feel uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable with it. I guess, that's dysphoria, isn't it? So I just can't wait to leave the house. It's sunny. I've got my t-shirt on. I can stand up straight. I can, go to yoga without feeling embarrassed. And there are just so many parts of life that are gonna be that bit sweeter. So I've got 2 weeks off, and that's a bit of a nightmare. And then I'm dreading, obviously, the pain. I think a lot of guys downplay how uncomfortable and how difficult the recovery is and how big this operation is. And I'd kind of been going along with that idea of, day 2 or 3, I'll be all right. I'll go back after 2 weeks, no problem. And actually, now I've spoken to a few more people, it's sort of like, well, actually, 2 weeks is a bare minimum, and really, even for an office job, most people need a bit longer. So I've had to have another word with my manager and just sort of, arrange some more cover. I'm not saying that I buy into the idea that every trans guy has top surgery, but it is a shared experience between a lot of people, um, and there's all this sort of stuff around it, and I'm quite interested to sort of have that experience and see where people are coming from. In terms of preparation, like I said, I've been doing some strength training, but not really. I do a lot of cardio anyway. I'm running a half marathon on Sunday, so in terms of my physical fitness, it's quite good. My BMI is fine. I eat very healthily anyway, but I'm particularly trying to cut back on alcohol. Obviously, I'm going to stop taking things like ibuprofen and things like that 2 weeks beforehand. Um, what I'm going to start taking 2 weeks beforehand are a few supplements, including arnica, which I bought from Boots, which I think is £4 or something for like 90 tablets. so that's plenty. I've also been to my doctor, and he's prescribed me Kelacote for a bit further down the line when I'm healing. I'm also trying to get some scar strips, but they're really expensive, and you don't get much in a packet at all. So, you'd be paying 20 quid for a day or two, maybe 3 days worth of coverage, and you want weeks and weeks worth of coverage. So unless I can get a prescription for that, which at the moment I've been refused, I'm not gonna use scar strips. But I'm quite worried about my scars stretching. I think that's my main anxiety. As with most people, aesthetically, I think I want straight. I'd rather have straighter lines as scars than more curved lines, and I'm just conscious of stretching them, going back to work, as wanting to go back to work as early as possible. I'm risking there being some stretching, but I'm really hoping that I can manage not to stretch them too much and to take care of my scars. I've also been looking into getting some massage before my operation. So lymphatic drainage sounds really strange, but you have 2 lymph glands here, and when you have any surgery, particularly locally to this area, they really swell up. Your neck kind of swells up, and one of my friends had breast reduction recently, and I've seen how swollen she got, and that buildup of lymph isn't particularly good for you. Lymph sort of carries toxins away, and it aids healing and things like that. So with lymphatic drainage, it sort of refreshes the lymph, gets rid of any excess lymph, and just keeps it really moving around. So I was hoping to get that the day before my surgery, because it is supposed to help with recovery and swelling and things like that. So yeah, I'm really keen to be back on my feet as soon as I can. So I'm having surgery on the 29th of February, so the very last day in February, and obviously I'm going to have to take a couple of months rest, but I've got a marathon in October. I mean, it sounds like a long time, but actually with some rest, there's only a few months of serious training, and it's a really hard marathon. It's an off-road. It's supposed to be the hardest one in the UK, so I really do need to do a lot of training. So I'm anxious to get back into physical activity and things like that. But at the same time, I'm very aware that I need to listen to my body and do what's best. So I suppose I'm anxious to see how quickly I recover. The last while has seemed pretty uneventful in terms of changes. I've actually just shaved today, but the only main change I've had recently is facial hair. You might be able to see I've got some stubble going on, and on the sides as well. So there's quite a lot. It's quite stubbly. My face, and also under here is quite hairy. My chest's a lot more hairy. My arms are quite hairy. On the lower bit. So I think that's the main thing, is body hair. I think my voice may have got slightly deeper, but I still force it higher quite a lot, which I'm trying not to do, but I'm a bit rubbish at remembering. Yeah, so the main thing is body hair. It's not quite connecting up yet. So I've got, a little soul patch. I've got sideburns, and I've got a little bit here, but not so much. But they're all quite separate. So until they link up, I'll probably keep shaving, because I don't think it looks great. I'm still kind of struggling to access a lot of emotions. I'd say my main emotion is probably anger and frustration, which is frustrating. I don't feel quite like I can go as far in either direction of happiness and sadness. I'm sort of more anger and frustration, and then in a good mood or in a bad mood, which I don't know, partly a good thing, partly a bad thing, because I used to really struggle to manage my moods. They would really swing from quite euphoric to quite depressed and sad and tearful. quite a lot, whereas I really don't get either of those feelings anymore. So I guess it's a big adjustment, because I used to be quite creative, and I used to, you know, a lot of what I did revolved around which of these moods I was in, whereas now I'm very much in the middle. So it's changed a lot for me, and mainly in a good way. Basically, my moods are much more stable now, so that's great. Ooh, sunny for the first time in ages, which is nice. So I'm about to go out for a run. I think that's everything I wanted to update on. I'm very busy at the moment, so just in case I don't get a chance to do another update before surgery, I just wanted to log something. So this may well be the last video before I have top surgery. So yeah, I might post some before and after photos after I have surgery, privately, but yeah. I'm yet to do a body before and after, so it might be interesting to do that. But I'll see how I feel. I don't really want to share it publicly. Cool. All right. Laters.